So 36 samples. Well, actually 35 samples and 1 hand cream was inside this mystery box. Did you get yours? It was a huge one. This was one of the biggest ones I've put together. And I'm going to break it all down for you today in this video. Tell you all the different fragrances that were in here. And you can use this video as a reference guide to understand some of the fragrances that I'm going to go over with you. But we dropped this a week ago, officially a week ago Sunday. And now this is the follow-up video. I'll most likely do one more video of the discount codes if I can get them for these fragrances, which I'll keep you guys posted about. But let me know. We actually ran out probably in around 36 hours. So that was a pretty successful mystery box for us. This will be probably also the last kit we do until into next year. And also, as far as the mystery box goes, we won't do another one until spring, probably closer to May. So it's a way it's off. Like we have some time before we do another one. But you know what we're gonna do? We'll probably do some odds and ends boxes, and we'll probably do a few more of those big boxes that I put together in the official drop video I did last week. We put together 100 sample box. I did 2 of them only, and those things flew out in a minute. I was surprised. So it had 79 samples and official samples, and then 21 Scent Club kit samples. So from previous kits. So you had 21 of these from different past kits, including Vanilla Mudslide, which I know people are dying to get, and 79 samples from past kits. So, I'm sorry, past mystery boxes. So you had 79 samples like the samples you get in a mystery box, and 21 of the past Scent Club kit samples. So those are around 5.5 mLs, and the mystery box samples generally range from 1 ml to 3 ml, maybe some a little larger, some a little smaller. So it was a box of 100, and there was only 2. So who knows? I might do a few more. Check the store right now. If I get to it, I'll have a few more of those special boxes selling. But let's go over the fragrances now. The first fragrance I spoke about in the last video was Eccentric Molecules. Molecule 1 plus Cistus. So that is a sample that's in your mystery box. Big fan of Eccentric Molecules. I was so looking forward to this one. It's finally out. And as I was mentioning in the mystery box official drop video, how authentic the cistus smells in here. So there's an ingredient called cistus, labdanum, that is here in this fragrance, along with what's in molecule 1, which is a ISOE super, which is smelling like cedar and sandalwood. So they've mixed it with cistus. Cistus is used in fragrances to create an amber accord, and it smells like the actual plant here in Northern California, I see them all the time. And it's got this very interesting kind of smoky, sticky, resinous smell. And here what they've done is added it to molecule 1. So far, I think out of all of the different M plus fragrances, this is probably the darkest one. And I think it's a great fragrance to wear on its own minimally, or use it as a layering tool for an amber. Like if you want to intensify an amber fragrance, spritz this down, let it dry, and spritz on an amber. Because for me, the cistus is quite spicy, sticky, resinous, and that's kind of what you get with this, plant. And they've used it here with Eccentric Molecules, molecule 1 plus cistus labdanum. So good. Yeah, that is awesome. So that was the first item in the kit. Then we've got a sample of a Korean brand called Pesad. This is Oud Nights. So this is a Korean house, not born to stand out, obviously. And it's a kind of a very easy to wear oud fragrance. There's freshness, there's spices, and you've got a nice Western oud. It's slightly medicinal, but pretty intense, potent. And anybody that's into fragrances like Oud Wood from Tom Ford will appreciate this one. This is definitely more concentrated, more intense. And again, it starts off fresh with citruses, goes into spices, and then it's going into kind of, woods, the oud accord, and maybe some ambery resinous touches in the base as well. So that's Oud Nights from the house of Pesad. It's a Korean house. Let me put that away. So then we've got The Things Past, Sink. So this is actually a Greek house, and it's a fairly new house on the market. And I fell in love with this fragrance, and I wanted to feature it here. I mean, I pretty much have fallen in love with a lot of these. I discovered these fragrances along the way, so I asked the brands to feature them in the mystery boxes. But this one, to me, it smells like figs, but there's no mention of figs. It's quite green. It's spicy. It's tea, but one of the most beautiful green tea touches in a fragrance. It's got a soothing, cozy vibe, but there's a overdose of greenness, freshness, slight bitterness that tricks my nose thinking it's figs, which is kind of cool because it's a Greek brand. Figs are, associated with the Mediterranean and Greece and things like that. So it gives you that kind of an idea. But it's super fresh. I think it'll be a perfect fragrance to wear when it's warm outside. But I'm glad to have been able to feature this here. We've got 2 Greek brands in this kit. We also have 2 Korean brands in this kit, if you haven't already discovered the fragrances yet. But let me know so far what your thoughts are on these fragrances that I am talking about so far today in this video. What are your thoughts? I'm sure it's taken you a little time to discover all the different, samples in the kits, but eventually you'll get to them slowly but surely. Let's go to the next fragrance if I can find it. Here it is. This is the second Greek brand. This is Angelo's Creations Olfactives. This is Narcissos. So Narcissos is a narcissus daffodil focused fragrance. It's also more on the animalic side, so be warned. This is not for the faint of heart. It's truly very vintage style. It's deep, it's intense. It smells, to me, the narcissus or the daffodil has a very spring smell, but there's so much deepness here. And when I associate with spring, it's kind of fresh. This is kind of going into the underbelly of spring, like you've kind of woken it up, intensified it, made it deeper, richer, heavier, warmer, and also kind of beastly because it's quite animalic. But for sure, the narcissus is like in your face here, super intense, super vintage, and also musky animalic. So this one's not for the faint of heart. So this is Narcissos. This is probably the 4th time I've featured Angelo's Creations Olfactives in a kit. My very first Scent Club kit featured one of the fragrances. And then we've done some mystery boxes along the way. Then we've got a fragrance from the house of Sultan Pasha Perfumes. It's Joyeux. So this was actually, I did 2 videos for the line. I did one reviewing the fragrances, and also there was an impromptu video I shot with Sultan during Paris Perfume Week at a cafe. So it was pretty loud there. But I was going through the fragrances. I really fell in love with several of them. Joyeux is one of them. Gives me major Fougère Chypre vibes. And it's classic. But this is not an animalic one like the previous one. This one's definitely soapy, clean, citrusy, aromatic. As I said, spicy, woody. And to me, it acts a bit like I was mentioning YSL's Pour Homme, maybe a little bit of Chanel's Pour Monsieur, maybe also kind of sort of bordering things like Eau Sauvage in this kind of a genre of citrus aromatic fragrances. But very vintage style. You can smell the aromatics for sure and the spices. It's deep. These are extrait de parfum fragrances. Really enjoy this line. This one and Quintessentially Amber are two of my favorites. In fact, Quintessentially Amber is my favorite from the four, but I also really enjoy that for the classic masculine, you know, Chypre Fougère like fragrances. So next we've got a fragrance that's called Black Forest from Alhambra. So this one actually, unfortunately, they sent us a very small sample, but you get an idea of what the fragrance is, and it's also kind of a familiar smell. I quite like this DNA. Let me know if you guys have recognized it. It's citrusy, it's musky, it's ambery, it's zingy, spicy. It's super sexy, actually. But the grapefruit's in your face. It's intense, it's juicy, but also bitter. Zingy, as I said. And this DNA is awesome. So that's Black Forest from Alhambra. All right, let me switch pages. So then we've got a fragrance from the house of Kajal. It's Topaz. So Topaz is, well, I should say Kajal does great fruity fragrances. That's something I should say. This is, so it's almost like a fusion of freshness by fruits and warmth by amber. So I think it's a gemstone, the Topaz. So it's a fruit, but it's not super fruity. In the end, I think there's ambers and woods and spices in here as well that are elevating the fragrance and kind of, you know, stripping away of all of its fruity qualities. And when you wear that fragrance, it does have some depth. It's not super light and airy. Sometimes fruity fragrances can be like that. There's definitely, you know, intensity there with that fragrance. Then we're going to the house of Toba. This is Lovers and Strangers. So Toba's Lovers and Strangers is kind of a familiar smell. And it's definitely something different than the brand's other fragrances. It's more, I think it's more playful. It's also bordering gourmand, but it's kind of like a rose coffee gourmand. It's kind of smoky, ambery. The coffee is super dark, but it's nicely balanced with sweetness, you know, like vanillic sweetness. Amber is creamy with sandalwood. So if you like a coffee gourmand, definitely check this one out. I think there's some familiar touches about it, but it's different enough to make it its own unique creation. But I like this type of a DNA. And I like that the coffee is also super strong. And it's a nice contrast to the rose in here. It doesn't act super latte-like, like creamy milky, but there is creamy milky touches in there as well. So that's Lovers and Strangers from Toba. Let me know if you're familiar with that house. I do have a video on the channel of the fragrances of Toba. Then we've got, if I can find it, here it is. We've got Essential Parfums Velvet Iris. So I shot a video with the founder of Essential Parfums, Geraldine, and we were talking about this fragrance, and she mentioned how she doesn't like sweet fragrances, and generally, Iris fragrances tend to go sweet. She made it more vegetal, I think, more woody, and definitely not sweet at all. You can totally, experience the vegetal qualities, green qualities of the Iris, but there is definitely a velvety touch. And also, I'm picking up quite a bit of vetiver It's almost like a fusion of iris and, of course, it's orris. It's the root, so it's got that kind of buttery quality, contrasted with the grassy, dry, woody touches of the vetiver. So that's Velvet Iris. It does have greenness, of course. And then we have two KLE fragrances, their latest ouds. So we had Chocolate Oud 11. Actually, it's part of the Oudgasm collection, and it's Milky Musk Oud 30. So the list is Chocolate Oud first. So let's talk about that. This one actually is more gourmand. The second one was more sandalwoody. This is super delicious. To me, it does have some Wajan vibes. It kind of has this like appley, sweet, honeyed, spicy touch. Caramelly, of course. Kind of very addictive. Like the smell is super delicious. But of course, it does dry down to something oody woody. But you still have that kind of gourmand qualities lingering on. So that one's the more gourmand one. Then we've got the Milky Musk Oud 30, which to me is quite sandalwoody milky. So I feel like they're writing Milky Musk, but we're accomplishing the milkiness or creaminess from, it's sandalwood. I can smell the sandalwood like so much. But, you know, there's milky touches in there. There's some sweetness in there. Eventually, it does settle to an oud accord, but you've got these things happening all. If you like a cozy, milky fragrance with lots of sandalwood, definitely try this one. It's super, super cozy and comfy. So that's KLE's Oudgasm Milky Musk Oud 30. Then we've got a brand called Facent Creme Brûlante. So I shot a video with one of the founders of Facent at Paris Perfume Week earlier this year. If you haven't caught that video, please do. These fragrances are also now sold at Lucky Scent. So check them out. This is a gourmand fragrance. Creme, yep, creamy. We did end up with creamy fragrances, milky. So this is definitely creamy. It's so cozy creamy. There's a sweetness about it, kind of caramelly sweetness. Vanillic for sure. It does have a whipped cream kind of effect happening. It's a fluffy experience. The fragrances are fun. I enjoy these fragrances from Facent. So I'll do a full review of the line soon. Stay tuned for that. But Facent's Creme Brûlante was one of the samples featured in our latest mystery box. Let's move on to here. Next, we've got a fragrance from the house of Acro called Gold. So we decided to do gold again. We featured it in a special 200 limited edition mystery box we did earlier this year. And so since it wasn't in like a big drop, we decided to do it again. And gold is definitely one of the best from the house. It's an amber, super vanillic. I'm sorry, gold. It's not gold. It's glow. What am I saying? I always look at the bottle of this fragrance and I say gold because it's gold, but it's called glow. So yeah, it's amber, it's resinous, it's spicy, and balsamic touches and things like that here. So if you like ambers, definitely check this one out. One of the best from the house, I think. It's super delicious. And it's also kind of base heavy. So it's pretty dense in the dry down for sure. But ambers are some of my favorite fragrances to wear in the winter. So I think Glow is going to be perfect for you this winter. Check it out and let me know what your thoughts are. Glow from Acro, created by Olivier Cresp. Let me know if you guys have discovered that. That one's actually not necessarily very new. We do have mostly very new releases in this, but there are some fragrances that are, you know, from a few years back. Glow came out, I think, 2 years ago, but it's a wonderful offering. It's an extrait de parfum as well, so great longevity. So next we've got the fragrance that features a hand cream as well. So the hand cream, let me show you. Do I have a hand cream here? I better. Yes. So the fragrance is another Korean brand. It's SW19 and it's Twilight. And so there was a hand cream like that. It was a 10 ml hand cream. So we had the fragrance and the hand cream, the fragrance sample and a hand cream included, which is awesome because in the winter it gets dry. I get dry hands all the time, so I'm constantly putting on lotion. So it's great. But Twilight is this super musky skin scent. I really love fragrances like this after a long day of testing and stuff. Definitely want to have something on, but I don't want it to be super loud. Something you can get cozy with, relax with. And these are the kind of fragrances. So it's musky. I think it has ambrette as a note, which is a musky note. It's a vegetal musky note. But it's clean. Really, really awesome. I love it. But again, if you're into really loud fragrances, this is probably not something you would enjoy. But, you know, there are the occasions that, like I said, I do enjoy long-lasting fragrances, super beast mode and stuff. But I occasionally crave fragrances like this as well because I just love musks in general. And this is a very clean musk. So what I would do is put on the hand cream and then spritz the stuff on so you can enjoy the kind of a clean personal musk bubble. So that's SW19's Twilight. And look at the back on the bottle. It looks like a little, what do you call those little globes that you shake? Okay, so the next one is D'Orsay's Rose Blaze. Let me know if you remember D'Orsay. We featured D'Orsay's Tonka Hysteria in a original kit like this. And this is one of the latest 2 extracts from the brand. This is also created by Jordi Fernandez, who created Tonka Hysteria. It's a super spicy rose, but there are some creamy undertones there. So it's quite smooth. I almost feel like there's also sandalwood in this as well. Long lasting, it's an extrait de parfum. It's super intense. And you've got the whole Jordi Fernandez touch here. So that's Rose Blaze. I think it's Jordi Fernandez. I could be mistaken, but I believe it is him. So D'Orsay's Rose Blaze. Let me know if you've discovered that one. Add a comment below. It's in the latest mystery box. The big one. Now, the next fragrance is from a brand I've not spoken about before, but I'm happy to be talking about them. The fragrances of this line are carried at Fragrance Vault. And of course, I believe we're going to have a discount code for this one as well if you are into market, because this bottle is gorgeous. So it's a brand called Agato, and it's Veti. Beautiful bottle. It's kind of like a work of art. So this to me is a fig fragrance. It also has quince. It's ambery, peppery. So it's taking the Mediterranean area into perfume, kind of sort of like the Mediterranean with the figs. Figs again. We mentioned figs with the things past sink. But that one's very fresh. This is a lot deeper. It's amber, it's woods, it's spices. But that bitterness of the fig is in here. It's not fruity at all. But there's also some citruses, and there's a note of quince, which is also quite a Mediterranean fruit. I kind of grew up with them, rarely have them anymore, the quince fruit. But it's lovely. It's dark and resinous, but also green and bitter. Most gorgeous bottle. Really beautiful. So that is Agato Veti. Veti? So then we've got a fragrance, my second favorite from this house. We featured the first, my first favorite from this house in the last mystery box, which was Sexual Healing. And then this one is Art Meets Art, Like a Virgin Unplugged. So there's a Like a Virgin, the original, and there's the Like a Virgin Unplugged. I much prefer the unplugged version. It's basically very creamy, vanillic, marshmallowy, contrasted with the neroli orange blossom. Super intoxicating, delicious. Creamy, lactonic as well. I think there's actually a milky accord here. So that is Like a Virgin Unplugged edition from Art Meets Art. Okay. All right, the next fragrance is from Thomas DeMonico. So he launched 3 futuristic floral or flower-focused fragrances, and we were able to feature one of them. It's Neo Eden. Let me know if you've discovered the 3 floral fragrances. This one is super fruity, tart, but also green contrasted. And I feel like it's like cannabis-like greens. So this is called Neo Eden. There's woods here as well, of course, and spices. But it's quite a juicy, fruity. I almost feel like it's rhubarb or something like that in here. Maybe there's some grapefruit in here as well. It's super zesty. So that is Neo Eden from Thomas DeMonico. All right, next page. Where is it? Here it is. So we've got a new house I haven't spoken about on the channel. Maybe I did speak about one of their fragrances. This is one that we featured, a brand called Mezzel. It's Dat Opaline or Date. Wow, it's good. It's a very warm, spicy, almost like holiday vibe fragrance. And it smells super delicious on skin. It's also pretty intense for eau de parfum fragrance. So it's like dried fruits. I love that about it. I love dried fruits and fragrances. It's super spicy. It's warm. So good. It's also got a sticky, almost honeyed vibe to it. And this is why I associate dried fruits, spices, sticky honeyed kind of with autumn or maybe winter or the holidays. That's quite yum. It's called Date Opaline. I'm assuming they're referring to dates, but I think we're not only talking about dates, we're talking about, you know, all kinds of dried fruits. At least that's what I get from it. So it's super delicious. Hope you guys like that one, Date Opaline from Mezzel. So then we've got another, well, whereas the Dat Opaline is not necessarily gourmand, but I guess it is gourmand adjacent. This one is actually a realistic gourmand. This is Tous du Ennui. Beautiful. These bottles are just gorgeous. Love these bottles. So this is actually jammy and creamy. There's that creamy again. This is actually buttery. Like, I think when I was talking about this in the initial video, I was trying to not make it sound so obvious. But I was mentioning I love butter on like a scone or like some kind of a bread that's super soft. You can put the butter on it and put jam on it. And I was mentioning the salt. The butter is the salty kind. I love that contrast of sweet and salty together. And it's kind of got that here. It's vanillic, it's resinous, it's ambery, but also fruity and buttery. Definitely you can experience the butter. So that is Du Ennui. Du. From THOO2. All right, we've got a fragrance from the house of Cortana. This is Forest of the Golden Dream. So this is the second time I featured Cortana in a mystery box. The first one was Irofonte, a Art and Olfaction award-winning fragrance. This to me, I don't know what it is about this one. This reminds me of a spa. It smells like a spa. It's woody and surrounded by greenness. So like sometimes if you go into the steam room and it's with woods, you can smell the woods a little bit, but there's kind of maybe like some kind of a candle or some smells in the air, which are quite aromatic and green. So I'm kind of getting that kind of a combo here. It's a very meditative, very calming kind of a smell. Really good, actually. There's a menthol vibe about it, but super calming. Super calming. Forest of the Golden Dream from Cortana. Let me know if you're familiar with that house. Then we've got Mancera's Explicit Vanilla. So Mancera's Explicit Vanilla is a delicious vanilla, but I feel like it's a great layering vanilla. If you're looking for a layering vanilla, this is a really great vanilla to layer with. The reason I think of that is because it's super skin scenty. I mean, when you're smelling it, you pick up the vanilla for sure. And I feel like it's made in a way that it's more not projecting. It's not necessarily like it's not long lasting. It's just a kind of fragrance that's personal. So it smells great. It's vanillic. It's a bit spicy and cacao and maybe even coffee, because I get both cacao and coffee in here as well. But once again, it's kind of personal. So it makes for a great fragrance to layer with. Like if you want to boost some fragrances up with vanilla, there's room to play with explicit vanilla and make it a kind of a layering combo with explicit vanilla and something else. So it's, I think there's also oud in this one from what I remember. But it's super cozy, really delicious, long lasting, but super personal fragrance from Mancera. It's explicit vanilla. And then we've got a fragrance from the house of Jacques Fat. This is Musk Couture. So I actually shot a video with the perfumer Jean-Christophe Herald earlier this year. It's finally out, and grateful to have been able to feature this in a mystery box. And it's a musk, which I really love, with cherries, but it's super soapy and clean. I love that about it. It's clean, it's sexy, it's a bit fruity, but super soapy, and of course musky. But major soapy touches here, a lot. So Musk Couture from Jacques Fat. Then we've got a true lactonic fragrance. This is called Lactonic by Scentologia. I love the name and the way it smells. So this one's actually lactonic, but also very buttery. I get a very buttery richness with this one. It's sweet, spicy, but also it's got this base that's got like amber and woods. Maybe some citruses along the way. Coconutty creaminess. Yum, that's really good. This is a house I'm not too familiar with, but would love to explore. But let me know if you know this house, Scentologia. Very interesting. It says use 2 splashes. The essence of softness, offering a luxurious, comforting embrace. Yeah, I get that about that fragrance. So that's 25. Then we've got a fragrance from a brand called Rose et Marius. This is L'Homme qui plantait des arbres. Very difficult French name. Is it the man who planted trees? Something like that, I think. I actually visited their store in Aix-en-Provence and actually shot a video there. We were making diffusers. So I don't know if I'll be able to air that anytime soon, but hopefully. It was a fun experience to to put together an actual diffuser and that you can use. So you can go there, you can actually make fragrances as well, but we ended up doing diffusers. And yeah, I'll put that video up soon. It's a long video, no edits, but you'll see the experience. And if you guys ever make it to the south of France, to Aix-en-Provence, go to their store and make a diffuser or an actual perfume. But for me, this is a super cozy, creamy, almost milky sandalwood fragrance. It's lovely. It's an interesting how these kits turn out. I didn't set out to make a creamy or milky woody kind of a box. It just happens that it happens like that. It's really difficult to make themed boxes, unfortunately, because it never comes together. And so accidentally things like that happen though. So we've got a lot of creamy kind of milky woody fragrances in this collection of fragrances. So that's Rosette Marius, L'Homme qui plantait des arbres. I know I'm butchering it, but that's the best I could do. And then we've got Acqua dell'Elba's Stella. This is part of their trio of fragrances that they just launched. And stay tuned for some videos I shot with the brand. I was actually visiting their island, actually. It's an island off of Tuscany. And we shot some content there, so stay tuned for those videos. But this is inspired by the island and the Mediterranean and things like that. But this is definitely the least islandy to me. It's quite powdery. And it's got woody notes, spices, flowers. It almost feels like there's heliotrope type notes or maybe like mimosa in here. But there's musky notes and woods. It's super soft and gentle, but very powdery. So that is Stella. And then we've got the fragrances that were in the Discovery set. And I'll go through those real quick. If I can, if I have them in order. Let's see. Okay. First one is Noya's The Velvety Musk. This is definitely one of my favorites. I didn't intentionally put the Velvety Musk at first. I looked at the back of the Discovery set and this was listed first. But this is powdery and clean once again. It's spicy. But I love this. It's super sexy. I consider this to be a very sexy fragrance. I love the way it smells. It's got this vibrant energy about it, but also super calming and soothing. So that's the Velvety Musk by Noya. All right, so we've got Winter Sun next. Sandalwood again. It's a yeah, I don't set out these boxes in a theme. It just turns out that way. Whoops. This is soft and woody, sandalwoody, and also white floral. So it's a bit laundry-like here, clean. And super creamy once again. It's got this, I think I'm getting kind of a soapy cleanness. Not like muscature, but somewhat reminding me of the soapiness that it's in that fragrance. But quite woody and creamy. So that is Winter Sun. I could see that. And then we've got Midnight Melody. I'm sure you guys have had a great time opening up your fragrances and testing them out. Which is turning out to be one of your favorites? This is super citrusy, fresh, and woody. Maybe some spices and aromatics along the way, and some powdery touches. Yeah, this one's also nice. So that is Midnight Melody. Then we've got Saffron Dream in this gorgeous red bottle. Who's a fan of saffron? Do you guys want to see a deep dive on saffron? Let me know, add a comment below. I haven't done a saffron video in a long time. This is kind of saffron, of course, leathery, metallic, but also underneath it all, there's kind of creamy warmth and sweetness. So it's almost like a, you know, leathery kind of vanillic thing. There's other sweetness, you know, under there as well. I feel like this is better on skin than on the strip. You understand the fragrance more on skin because it's a bit subdued, I think, on the strip. So that is Saffron Dream. Once again, I'll show you that beautiful red bottle. Next, we've got a fragrance, I believe, created by Julian Rasconnais. It's 5 Senses in 6 Directions. This is super smoky and super, super dark in a kind of a bright colored bottle, actually. Whoops. Yeah. This is very spicy as well. I almost feel like, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, that this does have something like papyrus or cypriol. It's a bit vetiver-y. It's a bit earthy, dark, super fiery. Really, really raw and earthy. But it's almost like woods just before they're starting to burn, but they're heating up, kind of. That's what it reminds me of. So that is, where did I put that? 5 Senses and 6 Directions. Okay, in the last page of fragrances, we've got 4 more. We've got a fragrance called Yes, I Can. Right there. This is also spicy, peppery, and rosy. Ooh, I can smell it. This is more like that Middle Eastern rosy kind of oud thing. And I'm not necessarily sure if there's any oud here, but for sure rose. For sure it's quite spicy, acting a bit like a chypre, maybe going in the direction of something like Portrait of a Lady, not identical, but there's sandalwood once again here. It's for sure deep, and there's a lot of warmth here with freshness and earthiness as well. That one's definitely solid. Super spicy, rosy, and also dark. Yes, I Can. Then we've got Ode to Oud. Nice name. Kind of catchy. Whoops. This has this herbal greenness. This one kind of reminds me of Interlude Man for some reason. I think it has an oregano touch. Yeah, this one actually totally reminds me of Interlude Man all of a sudden. It's got this kind of very distinct herbal kind of touch to it, reminding me of the oregano in Interlude Man. I think it's ambery, it's woody, it's spicy. I'd have to do a side-by-side on that one. And then we've got the Moon Shadow. These bottles are beautiful, the way they did the coloring. Oh, I like this one. This one is actually very crisp, very juicy, almost like apples, but I think I'm smelling violet leaves here. It's a very distinct smell, and it's that ozonic, watery crispness. Ooh, I love that. Violet leaves have become a favorite note of mine over the years. Really love them in fragrances. They have it's almost like cucumbers. The idea, it's that watery kind of crispness. I love that. It's very fresh and spicy and clean. And the last fragrance is, okay, where are we? Here it is. The Smoky Amber. Oops. I love ambers, but it's not, this one is not calling me that much. There's woods here, spices for sure, but it's not like the ambers I'm familiar with. I mean, eventually this gets dark and resinous, but it's a lot of freshness and spices up top. So that's the Smoky Amber from Noya. That's the last fragrance in the latest mystery box. This was about £1.50. And hopefully you guys got yours, because these shipped on Wednesday. So I'm hoping you guys are going to start getting or receiving your boxes anytime now. So let me know which ones turned out to be your favorites. Let me know which ones you're going to buy full bottles of. I know some of you bought 2 or 3 boxes. Are you going to be gifting them? I think they do make some great gifts during the holidays. And apologies, this didn't drop like normal. We do drop these mystery boxes during Black Friday. As I was mentioning, we had some difficulties getting shipments. So, and once you coordinate with a brand that they're going to be featured in that particular kit, kind of have to wait for it. Otherwise, you know, it's a bit of a difficulty. So at least we made it. We had 36 items, 35 samples, 1 hand cream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your favorite fragrances are. Do add a comment below. And thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. As I said, if I get to it, there's probably going to be a few of those big odds and ends boxes. So it'll be 79 samples from previous kits. So if you've bought mystery boxes before or Scent Club kits, maybe stick it out unless you're okay with getting a duplicate. So 79 mystery box samples. It could be samples from this kit or any previous mystery boxes, or it could also be something that you haven't received in a mystery box. So there's surprises along the way. So 79 mystery box samples and 21 past Scent Club kit samples in a huge 100 item box. So hopefully I'll be able to make some. Check the store. There won't be a lot because they take a long time to put them together. But like I said, we had a time to do 2 of them when we dropped the regular mystery boxes, and those just got snatched up so quick. I was surprised. As soon as I put the video up, a minute later they were gone. So it was quite interesting. So we'll see if we have more. If not, well, this video airs very, very soon, so stay tuned for those items. We might have a few surprise things coming up. Stay tuned for those. Not Scent Club kits, not mystery boxes, a few other things in addition to the odds and ends boxes I'm talking about. So be on the lookout. There will be some great deals, perhaps some unique deals. So sign up for the newsletters. But again, as I said, thank you so much for watching today's video. One more thing I should say also. So Vanilla Mudslide is a fragrance that I've been promoting because I absolutely love it. One of my favorite fragrances, one of my most worn fragrances this year. So I aired the video last Friday, a week ago last Friday, and they sold out in an hour. So we do thankfully have some kits left with Vanilla Mudslide in it. So if you're in the market for finding out what that's all about, check it out. Because I think we have literally the last few Scent Club kits that we put together that features Vanilla Mudslide. So once those run out as well, we'll be all out. And I don't know when they're going to get more in, but the brands mentioned that they're, putting together the juice. So when they start putting the juice together, it takes 2 to 3 months for maceration and maturation. So probably we won't see any new bottles of Vanilla Mudslide until sometime at least February, if not March. But thanks so much for watching. As I said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, list below. Please like this video, share it, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.